Vince McMahon doesn't own the company anymore. This is on Endeavor's dime. So if you've got a guy that, broke his neck and now you put him back out there and God forbid something happens again, now you're going to get the press of why'd you put a guy out there? This ain't Vince making the call anymore, bro.
Let's shoot from the hip, ladies and gentlemen. So Big E, he says this about a return. He commented on After the Bell, Corey Graves' show, and I believe he's with Kevin Patrick too. He says, I feel great. Unfortunately, I don't have a timetable. The great thing is I feel 100%. I don't even feel like someone who broke their neck. My mobility is incredible and great. My strength is great. I have no issues whatsoever. I wish I had some answers on returning to the ring. I have nothing, unfortunately. But the beautiful thing is I feel great. My body feels great. I'm really thankful for that. Life is good. I'm blessed. I can walk around and touch my toes, go to the gym, all those things. Really grateful. So we'll go with someone. We'll go with you, East, as far as someone who's been injured and recovering from injury as a wrestler. It seems like from this quote alone, this was a pitch to the WWE brass to like, hey, oh, by the way, I feel great. Yeah. I'm 100%. I don't know when you're going to bring me back, but I'm good. I mean, I can touch my toes. I can go to the gym. I'm good, by the way. EC3.
So being
in the mind of EC, being in the mind as much as you can be in the mind of Big E when it comes to this pitch to return to the WWE here.
I love to live in Big E's mind. The dude's incredibly intelligent and humorous, so I bet it'd be a real trip in the cerebral cortex. I just don't know, like with the neck injury. I mean, it's funny we're talking about broken necks, and he literally broke a neck in a completely unnecessary bump. Like the over the head belly to belly. If you're Brock, all right. If you're Kurt, all right. But like that became ad nauseum, and that move has such a high level of danger for not the reaction you think you're getting anymore. So like for that to happen on the freaking floor in a Raw match, like with a top guy, that's bad, because this is why we have to take care of ourselves and not scale back the intensity or the athleticism or the effort we put in, but the risk that's unnecessary. So,
and it wasn't even, and to your point, EC3, real quick, it was a nothing spot.
Right.
It was enough. It was. I believe it was SmackDown. I think it was Ridge Holland given the spot. Yeah. Now at that time he was a relative, like mid-carder at best, trying to come in and establish himself.
Like
it was a nothing spot.
Yeah, I would never even suggest it to do on TV. But Big E's one of the boys. He's like, well, let's do what we can to get you over. I'll take that risk. But that was bad. So I think with the neck, I think he is sending out smoke signals that he's bored and he wants to come back to work, and he can. I just don't know via HIPAA anything that's related to that. So the thing about an injury like that, like this happens a lot with ACLs. It's a 6 to 8 month procedure, but at the fourth month you feel fine and you're moving and you're cutting, but it just needs more time.
Yeah,
it's something that you can't know. And I think with a neck, in addition to the bones and the ligaments and the cartilage, like the neuropathy, is that the word? Neurology? The neurons, like those are something that are so like speculative and unproven that maybe that's what's holding it back too. Like they just can't rightfully clear them at this moment.
That's a good point. It's not worth the risk. So yeah, that's a good point. You got anything on that, Vince?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, guys, we've got to remember the fact that Vince McMahon doesn't own the company anymore. This is on Endeavor's dime. So if you've got a guy that broke his neck and now you put him back out there and God forbid something happens again, now you're going to get the press of why'd you put a guy out there? This ain't Vince making the call anymore, bro. So this is a whole new set of eyes and a totally different boss and company with a totally different mindset looking at this. Yeah. And bro, let's face it, even if it was Vince, bro, if he didn't deem the performer as a top guy that's going to make him money, he's probably not going to put him back in the ring. Like if that's Roman's going back in the ring. If that's Brock's going back in the ring. If that's Cena, but if it's Big E, probably not going to go back in the ring because like I said, bro, God forbid something happens. It's not worth the bad press.
Yeah, it's like when we just talked about Stone Cold too. He broke his neck and he never had that surgery. And then he was back on the greatest run of his life, so he had to get back in there. And that's what cost him his career too. So,
and bro, Big E is the kind of guy, Chris, let's face it, he's got such a huge personality. Bro, put him on Color. There's a million things you could make him somebody's, manager. There's a million things you could do with that guy, but to take that kind of a risk, bro, I don't know, man. That I mean, let's face it, Chris, that's why he's not getting any answers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100% as far as him doing Color. I mean, I just think, I've said that before, like, I just think, and here's the thing, if Big E, like, what's even the point, to be honest with you, as far as just, like, where do we go from Big E? He already won the world championship. He's been WWE champion. Will he ever cross that threshold again? I don't think so.
Bro, you know darn well where they go with Big E. A New Day reunion.
Right. That's my point. So
right.
Even so what's higher than becoming world champion again? Will Big E ever become world champion again? Most likely not.
Right.
So therefore, why even come back? And why don't you just ride high? You were former world champion and start to do things within the company that is less risky. Look at Wade Barrett. Like, he's the SmackDown color commentator now because he's like, look, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to continue to risk my body and risk injury. I'm going to have a pretty solid match, a solid spot as a color commentator. Same thing with Corey Graves. He was injured. He was injured in NXT. He couldn't compete. He found a way, and he's even been cleared to come back. And he's like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm pretty settled here.
Bro, who's a better ambassador for the WWE than Big E? Exactly. I mean, literally, bro, he could travel around the world for you. What a great ambassador he would be.
He has the charisma. He can bring all the kids together and rally the kids around. He has exactly what it takes. Yep. And I know that he was doing, I think he was doing voiceover work for the USFL. And I know that he's done some promos for some boxing matches too. So he's starting to become more away from the WWE, doing that, promo work and crossover work and voice work. And I think, look, if you don't give him a spot here, I mean, he's going to start building up the reps for going away from here. I think Big E would do very well from as an announcer. I think he would do really like a college football announcer or a color commentator or NFL or something like that. I think he did really well. So,
in contrary, when this is taken from you before it's your time, like, all those options are great. All those options are wonderful. All those options he'd excel in. But deep down, when you're not doing it, it tears you up. And if you can go in your mind and you think you can go physically and you're not, it's all you can think about, really. So.
Yeah, you out of it, all of us can say that, can talk about that the most. But I'm thinking from a psychological standpoint, sure, it's called the Zotternick effect when it comes to incomplete task and having that being more in your mind than completed tasks. So yeah, it does like create, like, for instance, earworms, like people are listening to music that they heard a few lyrics and they're on their mind all day, creating the earworms and things like that. Creating that it's an incomplete task to him. So yes, it will be on his mind more. But at the same time, I will say, like, there's a lot of people who don't retire because of that too, because they're 45, 55, 60 years old, still doing indie shows, because they still have that dopamine just drug that they can't shake, man.
Yeah, which that one's a shame, but I think like because it's not taken from him in that aspect, that it could still be sold out buildings and 20,000 seat arenas and the biggest shows of the year in that mind where like you just want to see it through. I don't think he'd be a guy that'd be like working an indie all out of shape in 20 years, panhandling for change for a autographed 8x10.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something left in the tank mentally and probably physically that he wants to see through.
Fair to say. I just don't see another opportunity for him to reach a threshold that he did when he won world champ. When he became world champ.
Hey, EC3, let me ask you a question, because I hear everything that you're saying, and you, listen, I'm not in that spot, but I totally understand it. But let me ask you this as a performer. Bro, if he were to step back in the ring, is he not 100% of the time going to be thinking of that neck, which could cause another injury by favoring it?
Hard to say. In my mind, I wouldn't say so. It would probably be on the forefront of your mind early, but I think he'd fall back into a groove and it would be like riding a bike. I don't think Austin came back from spinal fusion. Like it was, so when he first came back, he was the same guy, but it was just like kind of a bit off until it wasn't. And then he was the best he ever was. Like 2000 Stone Cold.
So it's just kind of getting over it psychologically. And then once you do, you're past it.
I believe so. Same thing with me, like when I had knee injuries and I came back, like every move I'm like, oh, that's a tear. That's a tear. I think I just tore it. Oh my God, I tore it. Why would I do this? When I'm just running the ropes,
Yeah. That happens a lot. I mean, say if someone, broke their leg and they're an avid motorcycle rider, they're going to have some timidity, and some sensitivity more at the very beginning, but as that confidence builds, as that dopamine starts to kick in, as that adrenaline starts to flow, then eventually within, 2-3 months, a lot of times even less than that, they're back to normal.
It's funny that you say that, Chris, because, I know Sean Casey, who's a baseball player. And one of the conversations I had with him, bro, he got hit in the face with 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah. And I was like, how the heck do you ever stand in that batter's box again without thinking about that? To me, that's amazing. If you are hit in the face with 100-mile, to step back in that box and not have it affect you and not think about it and go on business as usual. I think that's part of being a professional athlete.
Do you know?
I think there's that level, bro, that normal people would say, F this, bro.
Do you know who Herb Score is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he was slated to be one of the GOATs of pitching, and he was early in his career. Like he was on that path. And a line drive caught him in the face and he was out. And he came back, but he was never the same, too. So it does happen.
Indeed. You've got a big match happening against Tyrus' 75th anniversary. Come on, man. Lay it on us. What do you think of Tyrus? You will be, if you win, hopefully you win. I like the baby faces, but you're my friend. So I'm rooting for you.
Baby face-ish. Well, all right, yeah. What do we have? We have a NWA 75, a world's title match for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Dare I say, dare I claim, dare I make the bold prediction that Tyrus versus EC3 for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship at NWA 75 will be the greatest match in NWA history. Up yours, Flair. Eat a box of D's, Steamboat. Get lost. Arn Anderson, Holy, all y'all, Sting, I beat you. I will have the greatest match in NWA history, and I'm that good, I'm going to have it with Tyrus. But reality is, Tyrus, we came up in the FCW together. He was my heavy. He was my bodyguard. He was my confidant in Impact. He was there for my world title wins. He was there to cost me a world title at one point. We have a storied, long, illustrious past. What do I think of Hell, I do a podcast with him. You know, we have a cordiality to us. We have a friendship. We have a kinship. He knew I was going to be coming, and I am coming. And that could be taken out of context, but let's forget I said it. But yeah, NWA 75 against Tyrus, 10 pounds of gold. The true culmination of becoming the Overman. It's going to be very exciting times. It's going to be a really good month.
Bro, you've given everything, and I'm sitting here waiting for it. You've given everything but the date. When is this? When is it?
And,
Chris, will you look it up? Will you look it up, please, bro? We got to tell them when it is, bro.
NWA 75 is a 2-night affair. It's on Fight TV. It is on August 27th. The title match will be August 28th.
There you go.
Before the title match, because we have not interacted in person yet, I would like to invite Tyrus to the Exodus Pro show I'll be hosting in Cleveland, Ohio, 8/12. So this is an open invitation. I would like to have him there. I do feel prior to this big of a match, there needs to be, I don't want to break the fourth wall, but a money promo. But there does need to be an interaction. There needs to be a confrontation. There needs to be a discussion to get the proper build this match deserves. So, yeah, and if I have to go to Gutfeld and pretend I'm Ethan Carlson III and drag his ass off the stage, I'll do just that. So that might happen too.
Everything that East said was great, minus rewind it one day. It's actually the August the 26th and the 27th.
26th and the 27th.
NWA 75 live at the Chase on Fight TV, August 26th and August 27th.
Very nice.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure, man. Future NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
That would make me a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. Therefore,
no, that would, hold on a second. Hold on. That would not make you a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. That would make you EC 3-time World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, very nice.
You better put that in your promos now.
Yes.
3-time World.